everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home. Thank you for so much. Well, I can't even talk because my camera's messed up for a second. Welcome to Messy Kitchen Monday. Gosh, if it wasn't for bloopers, we wouldn't have near as much fun, would we? We are in our last Messy Kitchen Monday for the month of February. I know, it's hard to believe. Think about this. In the time since Christmas, roughly 2 months, right? So going forward from now and in 2 months, we will be almost in May. Can you wrap your head around that, about how quickly time passes? So in the same amount of time that it's been since Christmas, which feels like really 2 weeks ago for me, we'll be almost in summer here in the South. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I know a lot of my friends are ready for that. I'm not quite ready. Yeah, Tanner, she's ready for that. I'm not quite ready. We just haven't had enough really cold weather, and I don't like pests in my garden, and we just, all our crops down here, we need a good winter to be able to sustain our crops here in this area, in our zone. So I could go on and on about that, but I'm not going to bore you. You're here to watch me cook, so that's what we're gonna do. But tonight I have another great crock pot recipe for you, and this is chicken tortilla soup. So of course, because it's crock pot and I'm a slacker, I don't have any ready, but when the recipe drops later in the week, there's some really pretty pictures of it that you can see, and you'll just have to trust me. You make it for yourself, and it's wonderful. I'm actually gonna cook it tomorrow. I'm gonna prep everything tonight and then put the lid on it and pop it in the fridge, and then get it out in the morning and put it in the sleeve of the crock pot and go to town. But tonight you've got a bonus because I'm gonna show you how to put the tortilla in the chicken tortilla soup. So we're gonna get started because we got 2 things we're doing tonight, so we might be here a little long. I try to keep it less than 20 minutes, so we're gonna shoot for that goal. So in my crock pot, I have a pound of raw chicken breast. And don't sweat it, just like normal. I'm not gonna give the amounts of everything, but if you're a Buttered Home VIP member, you'll get the full recipe before anybody else. There's a couple of ways you can do that. On Facebook, at the top of the page, you can sign up after we're done to be on our mailing list. If you're on Instagram, then you can go to our link in bio and find our website on there, and there'll be a sign-up space on the website in the sidebar. If you just want to go to thebutteredhome.com, where we would ultimately love to have you all of the time, you can do that, and there's a couple of different places where you can subscribe to the email list there. So we'd love for you to do that if you haven't done that already. Also on Instagram, if you would share this post, we would be forever grateful. We want to get the word out that we cook on Monday nights to as many people as we can and share that Facebook love. And when we post this video on our IGTV next Monday, you guys can share it there as well to any groups that you might be in. So we would look forward to and ask you to do that on Instagram as well. So let's get started. To my pound of chicken, I have a can of black beans that have already been rinsed and drained, a cup of corn, canned corn that's also been drained, and I really like using this fire roasted corn. If you've not had it, I suggest you look for it because it's really good. It adds a sweetness to canned corn that is just not normally there. So we're gonna dump those in. And to that, we're going to add some onion and bell pepper. Now the recipe calls for red bell pepper just because it's so pretty and it just accentuates the color of the broth for this recipe, but never fear, any bell pepper will do. Yellow, I'm using orange because it's what I had. Yellow, green, anything will do. It's all pretty colorful and all pretty tasty. So I urge you, don't be confined to the red bell pepper because it really doesn't matter that much. And to this, we're gonna add some green chilies. Green chilies are fantastic. They add a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick, but not too much, because this is not really a too spicy recipe. And then we're gonna add some minced garlic to that. Hang on, Tam. And then I have some tomato sauce. We're gonna pour that in and get it all in there. And then I have a can of diced tomatoes, undrained, because this is gonna be part of your broth. So we're gonna dump that in there too. This is like one of my favorite ways to cook here, because you just really just kind of dump it all in there and go. Now I'm gonna stir this just a little bit. And then to this, I'm gonna add some chili powder. Now, at this point, you could also add a little more kick. If you wanted to add some hot sauce, you could. If you wanted to add some cayenne pepper, you certainly could. You use this recipe just as a guide to kind of get you to whatever flavor level that you want. And then of course we've got our good old standby of salt and pepper. And we got all these vegetables in here. So I put a little bit more salt than normal in there. That again is also to your taste. If you're salt sensitive, feel free to use whatever salt substitute that you like. So there we have that. And then Tanner, I'm gonna hand you this stuff. Kind of get it out of the way. And then we're just gonna stir those spices in. Again, everything is right on top of the chicken. So we get those spices added in and mixed in pretty good. And then to that, we're gonna add some chicken broth. Now, if you were going to freeze this and make it ahead of time, you could totally do everything that I just did, except for the broth, in a gallon zip top bag. Then you could press all the air out of it, freeze it, and then label it, of course. And then when you got ready to cook it, then you would put everything in your crock pot and then add the broth to it. Easy, right? I mean, I know I have broth on hand all the time. So we're gonna set this over here, out of the way. And now that on its own is fantastic. It really is. But this is chicken tortilla soup. So you want to put the tortilla in the soup, right? So I've got about 6 flour tortillas here, and you can use corn for this as well. And I'm just going to take a good sharp knife, and I'm going to cut these in half. So I've got 2 half moons. And then I'm going to just cut them into strips. And you don't necessarily have to cut them in half. If you wanted longer strips, you could totally leave them intact and do them that way. And then I'm just gonna toss these on a sheet pan. I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And this recipe dropped Friday. So if you are a Buttered Home VIP, you already know. And this is so simple, and you don't have to just use these for chicken tortilla soup. I like to have them just to snack on. When I posted the picture earlier on Instagram, I had a friend of mine who said that she really likes these just dipped in cream cheese. And they'd be good dipped in guacamole if you wanted just a light snack. They're really easy and they cook up in about 10 to 12 minutes, so they're fantastic. Now, you're gonna spread them out on the sheet pan, and then you're just gonna drizzle them with about 2 tablespoons of oil. And then I just like to take them with my hands and kind of mix them all up around in there. Thank you. Give me a paper towel, if you don't mind. And make sure they're good and coated and covered. Good job, Tanner. Tanner's making a mess in the messy kitchen by dropping.
Trying to be quiet.
She was trying to be quiet. That backfired on her. So that's as close to a single layer as I'm going to be able to get it. Now, at this point, you're not confined to using olive oil. I like mine just simple and savory, but you could totally do a sweet version of this too. A coworker and myself were talking today, and she likes to do this, and you could use butter or melted butter, or you could use just regular canola oil, just a little bit of it, and then take cinnamon and sugar and sprinkle it on these and cook them the same exact way, and you have a sweet version. But for this application, really all you need is olive oil, tortillas, and a sheet pan. Now, I like to add just a little bit of salt to mine because that's just a little flavor bonus. And then you just pop these in the oven, like I said, for 10 to 12 minutes. I take my spatula and I turn them about halfway through, mix them up, make sure they're getting good and crispy. And when they're done, you have these beautiful, crisp tortilla chips. And they are fantastic. They're snappy and they are delicious. They're better than a cracker. And you just take that beautiful soup and you sprinkle those on the top of the soup, and it almost becomes like a dumpling in the soup. So the tortilla strips really make the chicken tortilla soup. It's good on its own, but adding this is a different texture to that soup, just takes it to a whole nother level. And of course, guacamole and all the good stuff that you want to put in it. Queso, cheese, all different kinds of cheeses you could put on this and garnish it with, and it's just really good. And chicken tortilla soup is not a soup in my mind that I think of being just a wintertime soup. I mean, it's a really good light filling soup that's good in the summertime as well. And you all know as well as I do that when your house is hot in the summer, cooking in the crock pot or the electric pressure cooker can help save you on your power bills because you're not heating up your kitchen. So it's a win-win all the way around. And this is a very filling, very hearty soup, and you won't need anything else except it's just fun having all this extra stuff with it because it's pretty and it's festive and it makes it even more delicious. So y'all, that's it for February. Crockpot cooking. I think we've shared some great recipes with you guys. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've got a lot planned for March. I don't know if I'd say it's fun. It's good stuff. Most of the stuff you won't even realize that you're eating healthy. And is it contradictory for the buttered home to be sharing healthy recipes? Maybe. But for all of you people who have stuck out the new year, new me, and have actually lost a little weight, have continued to go to the gym, who have drank all your water every day, and done this on a consistent basis, we are going to show you some great recipes in March that not only are cost effective, but they are calorie effective as well. You can get a good hearty meal and not spend your total calorie count for the day on a great meal for you and your family. And your family won't even know they're eating low calorie. Did y'all know when y'all were eating all that stuff a couple of months ago?
What were we eating?
I can't go into details right now. I'll spoil the surprise.
Well, I don't know.
It was the chicken potatoes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Those were good.
The beef and broccoli.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, all that was low calorie. See, they'll never even know it. It's just like replacing off-brand stuff in a bag that's brand name. You know, they'll just never even know. I've never done that before, but I know people who have. Have you done that? Anyway, so you can totally, we won't look at it as March of sharing healthy recipes. We'll look at it as a stealthy, good job, Tanner. She just bumped. You did that a bunch last week too. But We'll look at it as a way to trick your family into eating healthy. That's what March is going to be all about, is tricking your family into eating healthy. They won't even know it. Big D's in there booing. He didn't know it either. You didn't know it either, so you be quiet. But anyway, we're going to get these tortilla strips in the oven so that we can have these tomorrow night with our chicken tortilla soup. Again, if you haven't signed up to be the first to receive these recipes, go to the Buttered Home and do that right now as soon as we get done, or on Facebook up at the top of the page, Instagram at the link in bio. We hope you'll join us for the Trick Your Family into Eating Healthy recipes next week, which is next month. And as always, from the Buttered Home to your home, we love y'all. Bye.